Lower bands touch NQ on the 89. Touch YM on the 29. Enigma long on the NQ4.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door.
Welcome aboard, everyone.
What exactly is AlgoBox? Why do our traders absolutely love it?
Just one. Michael Oathrew. Alrighty then, are you ready indeed? Good morning. It is Tuesday, and we just finished up a great Mentorship Monday yesterday, and we talked about a whole lot of things here. And if you give me just a couple minutes here, we'll be looking for our getting our 5 trades under our belt here. And within those 5 trades, don't forget I trade like a video game. Got my 5 Mario Brothers lives here for my trades, and really only need to make 2 to get it done. Well, 2 winners. And now those 2 winners may be spaced out. Who knows? Might lose the first one. Might lose the second one. But I need 2 to get me where I need to be. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Enough to put food on the table, and then looking for a bonus right after that. Let me get some of background music going on there. Let me get the chat popped up here on screen. We're early. We've got still about 17 minutes till the US Open.
Enigma short on the NQ4.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Johnny. JJ Kelly in the house. Real-time protection. Yes, thank you guys for reminding me. I saw you guys post that in the chat, and that reminded me. Thank you again for that reminder, until I make it an absolute habit, because I do forget that far too often, unfortunately. Make sure you turn off real-time protection there for your own performance on your PC. Good morning. Thanks again, Epic. Appreciate it. Ninja Scalp is here this morning. I see you, Captain Rex. Good morning, Manny. Good morning, Richard. Thank you, OB. Noob Cybot. Man, crushing it this morning. Saw your screenshots already there in the chat. Wow. You have been smashing it. I think I saw some interesting stuff on your layout. Let me look at that real quick. Pretty standard default with some colorings on your large king timing. I like it. Good morning, Wind Rider. Great to see you. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Vortex. Thank you, everyone. Great to see you. We're coming back to one of my least favorite places to trade. So if you're here yesterday, as the market approached. Remember the open line? Yeesh. All right, so we just arrived there from the overnight. We've got 15 minutes till the official US Open, but the unofficial overnight open. Overnight looks like we came up overnight and then right back to it, which tells me we're probably in the golden ropes up on the high time frames. Is that right? Yes, we are. So here's the high time frame, 89, the big dog, settling inside of the golden ropes. This could indicate to us that we have actually some really favorable environments, in my opinion. I'd much prefer to trade a range-based day than the slow grindy runs. Just me personally. So buying lows, selling highs while we are inside of the golden ropes. And that means the masher is on the plate. So I'll be looking over here on the right. I mean, acting like I don't normally, but you know. All right. My eyes will be focused a lot here, and masher points in particular for reversal opportunities and spots to grab some bags. Reset my coins up here. Got my 5 coin sheets there to kind of mentally guide me, or reminding myself that I need to get 5 trades plus a bonus. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but Vinny, I've seen you take way more than that. This is just live stream. I'm out here. I still think that you should do as I say, not as I do. As someone who's been in the industry for a very long time, used these tools for a very long time, I have a little bit more of an edge, and I'm just guiding you through any section of the day. You could come sit down at your desk at any point in the day. There are, I think, advantages at the more volatile times of day, whether they are in the morning around the open or in the afternoon, late before the close. But if you have a better time of day to play because of your personal schedules, if you're a lunchtime trader, we have session plans for each part of the day. I think the hardest places are the in-betweens. But when you guys see me run 5 trades and then continue to trade through the rest of the day with you guys, that I would not call that normal. I would not say that's normal, and I would not be thinking that is the expectation. And I realize it gives kind of a false sense of safety, if you will, seeing me play the entire day, and then when I see our own traders who are not as experienced and maybe don't have the techniques down, or haven't done enough practice, or just don't have the right feel for it yet, are over trading and continuing past that 5 trades scenario and not understanding the kind of the daily reset scenarios where you're like, okay, I got in the bull, or got in the ring with the bull, got some shots in on the bull, got my pay, walk away, come back and do it again tomorrow. You stay in the ring with the bull will win. All right. And I'm not talking about bulls and bears. I'm talking about getting in the ring with a beast. Any questions around any of that, do let me know. But I do see some of the trade performances of some folks that have been struggling recently, and there's some telltale signs, mostly the over trading and maybe overstaying their welcome or trading the entire day. Can't ride a bull for 5 hours. Exactly. And, and I go over that in in our training where I talk about the 8 seconds of bull riding. Like, bull riding is literally considered a ride if you make it 8 seconds. It's like getting in the ring with Mike Tyson. You might get in there for a minute, but you might want to get out pretty quick. Speaking of things pretty quick, I need to turn on full auto across the boards, and I like to do this along with you guys so you see the physical nature of what I'm doing here. So I got my 6 instruments up top. Here we go. Arm long, arm short, full auto, Enigma on. 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 All right, so I've got all 6 of my correlated instruments. Well, these 2 aren't correlated, but we got the nerd. NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow. When I refer to the nerd, I'm talking about those 4 correlated instruments. And then we have the +2 golds. We got gold, and black gold, crude. Right there. All right, got my full auto turned on for Enigma. And then down here, at the beginning for me, I am going to go ahead and turn on full auto and super AO.
Fib.ym on the 3.
And I'm going to set my ATM on small on the lower time frame, and markets are looking pretty slow here this morning, so I'm going to go all the way to the 2s. And see if we can get a little bit higher speed here. Good morning, SMB Tech. Great to see you. We still have about 8 minutes till the US Open. And one of my least favorite places to play in here at the open line. So I'm going to be very careful around the open line. NASDAQ also kind of going a little bit slow. I'm gonna go to the 7s, a rare scenario here, but it's like I'm not ready to go all the way down to the 6s, but I am coming down from the 9s for my entry chart there on the NASDAQ, which is, of course, the wild child. Good morning, Mr. Collins. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Tom. Great to see you guys. Blackout is in the house. Good morning. MACV 13 algo bars on NQ. That might be appropriate. That might be appropriate. Yes. 13 would be a good estimate for that with the current market conditions. Pretty high on that. Although 9 or 10 is probably still okay. It depends on how much you're targeting. I still think that 9 and 10, yeah, 9 or 10, you might go up 1. I wouldn't go up that far, actually. When I'm thinking about it, their project, forget what I just said there. I wouldn't go as high as 13. I don't think you want to do that. But you could try it. Like, at the end of the day, if you're asking me what I would do, I don't think I would go that high. I'd think about it, but then as I'm thinking about it and putting some extra thought to it, FOMO scenarios, and yeah, no, you can, the reasons and the nature under which we use the MACV chart for 10, 20, 40 bags. Now, if you're going for more than that, it's go to the, I've got a video on trading multiple time frames, trading higher time frames, and check out that video on scaling things up if you want to go beyond that. But you lose your edge the higher you go up, and that's been proven out by Alexander Elder, but Charlie Munger, right hand man of Warren Buffett, passed away either last year or the year before. but he was in an interview and they had asked him, you know, why don't you do like what the Renaissance hedge fund did? And he said, well, we did. We've taken time to go down that path with the algorithms, and the Renaissance fund has, you know, found lower time frame edge. He says, but when you extrapolate those to higher time frames, they don't work. He literally said nearly as well, and followed it up with if at all. That's right, Mr. Hoyt, 100%. Good morning, sir. The long's favorable, but the MACV is red. Where is the long's favorable coming from? That is coming from the open. Yeah, open line for longs favorable. Good morning, Kevin. Mr. Canfeld is in the house. Good morning. Got 4 minutes till the US Open here. All right, so my 3-step entry system. I'm looking over here at the direction filter on the nerd. NASDAQ ESRTY Dow is this direction filter up there at the top left. The most recent one down at the bottom there is currently moderate sell.
Double delta NQ on the 7.
And I want that to line up with the arrow. You'll hear me say I'm looking for the nerd plus the arrow, and that's going to be over here on the right. So I'm looking over there on the left for my directional bias, then on my local arrow to tell me directional bias local to me. When those two align, I want to hover my mouse over the colored button that matches, and then I wait until I see one of these. Anything on our cheat sheet with our 2-pillar combo. The 2 pillars are structure plus RTOFA, real-time order flow analysis event, for the majority of all of our entry plays.
YM on the 2.
There's an HMD short right there. Not going to take that, where we're sitting on moderate buy and green arrow, both green right now, and we are coming into the 0 point on the flat line moments before the US Open there. I do see what could be forming an upside down turtle. Can you see the turtle? We just went over this recently in our training boot camp.
Double delta EM on the 6.
Can you see the turtle shell? You see his little feet? What are we looking for? A neck and a head to form, and then we enter in on some play setups in the head. So we'll see if we end up getting a straight leg out of that here. It could easily form there at the open. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm gonna turn on Financial Juice News. Good morning, Missile. Help the turtle off its back, yeah. Does look like he's flipped upside down. Good morning, Plutonium.
YM on the 2.
Thank you for answering some of the questions there in the public chat there this morning. Appreciate all your awesome efforts and helping out members in the
1
crew
minute
there.
to the market on open imbalance data.
All right, got about 20 seconds.
10 seconds.
All right, sitting on hands for those first 5 minutes. You might want to do that too, but do me a favor and smash that like button here real quick here so we can get to 50 likes before we get going.
Market on close, market on open imbalance. S&P 500 sell side 119 million. Nasdaq 100 sell side 3.9 million. Dow 30 sell side 30 million, and Mag 7 sell side 7.8 million. Just looking at the World Bank here with their forecast global commodity prices to fall 12% in 2025, 5% further in 2026 as growth weakens. Commodity price declines could moderate near-term inflation risk from rising trade barriers. Adjusted for inflation, commodity prices to fall into 2015-2019 average, ending price boom fueled by COVID recovery and Ukraine war. Oil demand dropped due to weaker economic growth projections and rapid adoption of electric vehicles in China. Also World Bank forecasts energy prices to decline 17% in 2025 to the lowest level in 5 years, dropping another 6% in 2026. Food prices to fall 7% in 2025 and an additional 1% in 2026. Brent crude to average $64 a barrel in 2025, $60 in 2026, $81.
Okay, a little split cross reversal potential right here. Let's see if that turns into an SCR.
As oil demand falls amid ample supply.
Still within that 5 minute window there, inside of the fiddle zone, so that's not being taken right there, but I may override that here on a Dr. Seuss. Okay, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and order position on it. Oh, nope, I hear AlgoBox kicking. Gonna go ahead and take that first one as a small loss here to start.
Negotiations center on Japan buying from the Alaska.
Should have listened into the audio box there.
According to what
Two try rule.
Target filled.
Upper bands touch YM on the 29.
Oh, might get skunked on this one. Dr. Seuss.
Target filled.
Targets filled for the two try rule. Let's go. I like the sound of that. All the way down to the Enigma target. So I'm actually going to count this one as a winner. So hit that button a little bit too soon there. Trade number one on a two try rule. I can take that as one or two. I'm going to count it as one here this morning. I get the discretion to choose whether that was a one or two.
Double delta NQ short 7 YM2.
Another one back to back here. I'm going to go ahead and risk it. Stick my stop right back behind the Enigma and see if I can get two in a row here right off the bat this morning. We are still right inside of the golden ropes and the nerd is green. So I am well aware that this is not the best or ideal set of trades right here. Could definitely pop up right here off of the channel underneath.
Double delta EM on the 2. Enigma short on the YM6. Fib.YM on the 9.
Target filled.
All right, I'm going to half that up here, and I'm just going to hold on to two runners here, and going to put a hard stop back behind the Enigma in case it pops up there.
Fib.YM.
Yeah, I kind of felt that. All right, so this one is definitely a solid. Got a cadence of 1 working here so far this morning. Still about 10 seconds before the 5 minute after there.
Double delta NQ on the 7. YM on the 2.
Okay, split cross reversal here. Looking for the... Oh man, I just got snapped. That is not fair. Man, come on. Is it going to start doing that to me here this morning? That sucks.
Target filled.
Alright, got a terrible entry on that.
29.
Might get to the targets anyways though, because that's just a very
Target
strong, easy play. Fast up, SCR for the reversal. So, easy SCR, split cross reversal there. So in here, super moonshot. Why? Because it had Enigma plus the cross, so it's a moonshot. And super because we had a ready on it as well.
So just in regards to
So a super moonshot and an SCR gets me my
what the financial newsfeed, just under the tick strike widget.
2 winners. My
A lot of its data is
this
gonna be
was
traveling.
kind of neutral. I'm gonna leave it as a neutral on that one. I technically actually won a little bit.
345.
It's a very rare scenario there with a.
Arrives at Selfridge National Guard.
You know what? I'm gonna count that a winner too, because yeah, it made $100 on this play right here.
Trump arriving at
It didn't get there.
make him count.
Yeah, you know, we could even do that one as a red. I'm gonna go ahead and go red. I'm gonna put it a red, even though we actually made money on it. But I'm gonna go.
29.
It didn't make it out. That was me kind of working through the play, making that one happen. Good morning, Mr. Manigold, my bro. How you doing, sir? Good morning, Garbs. Great to see you. We need about 7 more likes to get to 50 so we can hang out here the entire session. If you guys want to smash that like button for us, we'll be here a little bit longer. Okay, a PRZ cross now. Just going to give me another shot right here. A PRZ. Double cross PRZ. Into the PRZ. Double cross. Looking for a Dr. Seuss. No, I might have jumped the gun on that. Oh, just jumped the gun. It's cluster now.
Double delta NQ on the
Stops above the cross. Here in audio box, another set of crosses here. Yikes. Okay, hopefully it's going to cluster. Got my fingers over the close if we break out through those, and we're breaking through. All right, closing it out there. Seeing a green ready DD, and I might have closed it just too soon. Probably would have gotten some of my targets right there, right into the back of it. Did I close it early? I closed it early. Terrible execution on that one. This is where it helps to be a little bit farther zoomed in. I jumped the gun on the close on that one. And I could have 2-tried it. Let's see if I'm going to get an opportunity to Dr. Seuss it.
Double delta
All right, I'm going to give it one more shot here with the cross.
target filled. Target filled.
Target's filled on the Dr. Seuss, right back behind on the cluster. So it was perfect, and I messed it up. And remember why I'm more confident in these this morning is because remember I told you we're in the golden ropes. So selling the high, buying the low. So yeah, we're going to get, I believe we should be getting some reversals based on the technicals of where we're located on the higher time frames right now.
Fib.ym on the 2.
Let's see how that red dot manages. Okay, that red dot is broken. So we could have some more upside there. We did crack that red dot right here, so that could tell us we have some areas up above us. Multiple GLR sitting up top here. Might have a quick 10 bagger to grab up top in the GLR area. I'm going to mark it out here.
Upper bands touch YM on the 29. Double delta NQ on the 7.
Okay, getting the
UK's finest minister
red right in there.
published draft legislation today.
Oh, I do need to check on news here. Let's see what kind of news we got going here this morning. It is 9:41. Need to make sure there's not any 9:45 sneakers in there. At 9 and 10. We got Jolts at 10. Oh, it's going to be a big one at 10 a.m. The Jolts job opening numbers. Okay, we just got full autoed in on that. Looks like a Moonshot. Moonshot long there. And hopefully we get all the way to that target. Looks a little tricky. With the PRZ cross there as well with the crab.
Upper bands touch YM on the 29.
Oh.
Delta NQ on the 7.
Came very, very close. Do the stop here. That stop's not quite where it needs to be. See a red dot over there on the 9s. I'm going to close it out here. It's just in a very weird spot. I got to respect the red dot coming in over here on the right. We've got the GLR lines here. It's so close to it. I'm going to go ahead and kill it. Let's see if we get to count it or not. I'll mark it F11 if we don't get to... Oh boy. Okay, back the other way. And I'm going to get the stop in the appropriate location.
Target filled.
And see, I should have just let the system do the work. I should have just let the system do the work. It would have exited me perfectly right there and ran it back the other way. I should have just let the system do the work. Oh, man. Full auto. So good to me. Should have just let it be. I'm going to remember that. That was really neat. What's the timestamp on this? 33 minutes into today's live stream was a really cool scenario of why full auto is so good, especially outside. We came outside of the fiddle zone area and it nailed it both directions on it. Why even doubt? Why do I even doubt? Why do I even doubt? Right there, took the GLR line. Yeah, tried to go up with it. It might have gotten there, and the Enigma came in and said, nope, they're rolling it back the other way, baby. Boom, straight leg, down, targets filled. Could have had targets up and targets down on the side to side. Beautiful. Yep, let the system do the work. I stepped in and got in the way.
Fib.ym on the 29.
The bots aren't beating me though today. The bots are actually down $400 at the moment. It's early though, so
will ensure firms can access and develop talent that they need.
Gotta take that into account. The bots have been smoking me in the mornings, putting up some big numbers in the mornings. Good morning, Brandon. Good to see you. Good morning, Diego. Good morning, Pablo. Dork is in the house.
Giving a speech at
Dork says hit the like button.
Global Summit.
Good morning, Mr. Martin. Red arrow, green nerd. So what's our cadence here? So do we count this one? No. But it would have been, so this is a cadence of 2 and then a winner. Like we talked about cadence a lot during our boot camp. how many of you folks got to kind of keep up and catch up on the boot camp so far? Type me a 1 if you have been able to keep up with all of them, because I'm always kind of curious. I know people's schedules. I know especially during the week it might be hard. But on the boot camp, are you caught up on it? Type a 1. If you're behind on it but plan to do it, type a 2. And a number 3 if you're just not going to watch it at all, not interested, because I don't know, maybe you've already got things all lined up, you've got it all figured out already, and you don't need a refresher on a reboot camp. A 1, a 2, or a 3. I do see some people needing to catch up. That's good. Finishing day 5. Awesome. See a lot of people keeping up with it too, though. Love to see that.
On the 89.
Tonight will be session 8. At coffee time here today in about 15 minutes.
Short on the YM3.
About 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, I actually want to talk about how the reboot camp is going and some thoughts on kind of where we go with it. Tonight we'll be hitting the tips section. We got through all the strategies. We finished out the strategy
Fib.ym on the 2.
sections last night.
Double delta NQ on the 7. J hook long NQ on the 7. High impact Upper news
bands
event
touch
NQ on the 89. Medium impact news event CB consumer.
Okay, we're getting the alerts that there is that news event is coming up. Great to hear that, David. Appreciate it. Teaching you patience because you've had to listen to me for 2 hours. Yeah, last night. I'm almost feeling it today. I'm like, man, it was a long session. We covered a lot last night to finish out the strategies section. I gotta have patience to sit there for 2 hours and listen to Vinny go on and on about strategies. I've learned more patience in a single 2-hour sitting than I've learned in vacation Bible school in the summer. If the team could put timestamps on them, it would be even better. Yeah, so we are also editing some of that as well. So any of the cuts, to try to cut them down to as short as humanly possible. Any of the maybe scene switching or me moving something over to the screen or any pauses, uhs, whatever, trying to bring stuff into it. I try not to say and very much, but we all do it sometimes.
Fib.ym on the 9. Double delta NQ on the 7.
Interesting. We've got another dot. Double dot at the top of the Bollingers. We might have a very large down move here. Let's see. Potential midpoint 46 ticks for the mid is going to be around 80 to 100 ticks if we get all the way to the other side. The halfway point is 46. Okay, we're stacking up with, we've got 2 reds. If we get the third one, in this area. We might be getting ready to set up for that.
Firms and UK customers will
I'm going
also
to
have meet
switch
clear
to
standards on transparency,
none for my ATM, and I will work that spot here. I think we might have a great opportunity for that. Let's see if we get a little fast blast. There we go. There's a fast blast into a super AO.
China waives tariffs on US
And I do not know what just happened there. We got some wild news.
tariffs on US
Ready D just popped in. Was up there moments ago. We got to be careful here. Another super AO in the opposite direction here.
There was a little bit of a move towards the upside on the
Yeah, I saw that.
Reeves says a robust rules around crypto will boost investor confidence and support the growth of fintech and protect people across the UK.
So that came very fast, and I see 1, 2, 3 over here. I need to draw in my Titanic Zone.
Figures. US jolts forecast 7.5 million, prior 7.568 million, with a range of 7.75 million.
Did they just release early?
Million.
Wait.
And
They just-
TV consumer confidence forecast.
They just early released on the
by
news?
92.
On jolts?
9, with a range of 94 to 80. Also expected to hear from ECB's Holtzman as well.
Headshot short here, and let's see if we're going to get it. It's very unnerving the way that is just kind of flattened out straight
Further
across.
detail into this here,
And a lot of news chatter here.
the 100
Got my finger over the close if we start to break that dot up top.
proposed early this month, as according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. The move will ease pressure on Chinese firms that import US ethane petrochemical production for petrochemical production, as well as provide an outlet for the natural gas liquid, a byproduct of US shale gas production. So just to add a bit more color, according to the US Energy Information Administration, China buys nearly half of US ethane exports.
Alright, see NQ dropping out. Hopefully we do as well. I'm going to grab 20 ticks off of that headshot there. I can now Dr. Seuss it on the way down if we do keep on the down move here. Remember, the target for this is actually exactly down here in the ladder. We talked about this last night. Talked about ladder targets. There's the red dot and what could be a Dr. Seuss. So Dr. Seuss entry here. Dr. Seuss number 1. Remember, starting from a headshot up top. Got my fingers over hotkeys on close. If we don't go.
So just a reminder as well, there was news from 4 days ago as well in regards to this China ethane waiving.
We've got 7 minutes till the official jolts numbers.
Reuters article, China considers US ethane tariff exemptions. Just like an update from a couple of sources that they are waiving tariffs on US ethane imports.
Alright, I'm going to close this. I don't know what's going on right in this area here, so I'm just going to kill that. Taking a loss on that move there. Let's let it shake out a little bit here. Right in front of the news. We are now 6 minutes in front. Want to hold on to that 2K here to start. $9.54. Jagged on the tape. Thank you for that heads up.
Enigma short on the YM3.
All right, I'm going to re-engage one more time to see if we can get all the way to the bottom there.
Job openings forecast
On a Dr. Seuss.
Service spot 568
We
million.
are
USCB consumer
5 minutes before
prior 92.9, and we're also
the news here.
ECB's Holzman speaking at the top of the hour.
Dr. Seuss. Hopefully not getting stuck in a trap down here. Just hit the bottom of the Bollinger. Just noticed that could be a problem. Red dot. Add to position if we're going to get the structural work down. Nope. Crack the dot. All right. Taking a loss. Gave back a K on that for no reason. Trying it one more time. We just came back down on the 2 try. I don't like what I'm doing here. I'm going to kill it. My goodness, I gave it all back on that. I kind of felt it right in front of the news. Do as I say, not as I do. That was ugly, and this is going to be even uglier if this one doesn't work out here. All right, Enigma inside of the fiddle zone, unfortunately, right in front of the news. With a 6.7.
Double delta aim on the 6.
There's a moon touch. Looking for Dr. Seuss inside the moon, please. All right, it's getting a little heavy on that right in front of the news. 3 minutes before the news now. That is a moonshot. Yikes, went all the way strong by.
25% tariff on US ethane imports, just getting some wider notation.
Enigma short on the RTY3.
Coming off the back, I'm going to take off half. Half is confident in that play as we are coming into prior close. Coming back through my cross, I'm going to double add it back.
Enigma long on the NQ4.
One minute to go now. Lead with the USDB consumer confidence.
Okay, Enigma target, and then holding on to a half bag here.
Enigma short on the ES.
To the bottom of the Titanic Zone. Titanic Zone is completed. Seconds before the news, finger over the close.
Ten seconds.
I'm going to add a hard stop up top. Above the cross.
Double delta NQ on the 7 touch YM on the 89.
There's 100 ticks, and I'll close it out there.
88.
Oh, I instantly... Okay, I saw 100 ticks. It should have been more than that.
Of 7.5.
Saw 100, and then now it's going nuts. So, yikes. All right, let's let her do her thing.
Again, Jolts and CB consumer confidence coming in lower. Jolts coming in over
NQ7.
7.192 million, lower than the forecast 7.5 million. Market reaction wise, did see a little bit of movement towards the downside on the S&P 500, very small, a little bit towards the downside on the dollar index as well, the back of the weaker than expected Jolts and CB consumer confidence. Seeing revisions coming through now for Jolts, prior revised to 7.480 million, compared to the original prior of 7.568 million.
Delta NQ on the 7.
And CB reports average 12-month inflation expectations reached 7% in April, the highest since November 2022, when the US was experiencing extremely high inflation. Also, prior revision coming through now for US CB consumer confidence, prior revised to 93.9 compared to the original prior of 92.9. Treasuries holding gains after Jolt's consumer confidence data. US stocks extending losses slightly after Jolts and consumer confidence data.
Okay, 2 minutes before, 3 minutes after. So we got about 2 more minutes.
Double Delta NQ on the 7. Fib.ym on the 2.
Till the news shake out here. There is a headshot.
Treasury yields last down about
Broke straight through. We just shifted back into buy. We are green and green inside the fiddle zone, so we have to have some wider. Remember, if we're playing inside the fiddle zone, wider stops.
Double Delta NQ on the 7.
We have posted out the US CB consumer confidence report on the financial news feed for you to read through for April.
Got some great speed here. Okay, got about 15 seconds till I can be looking for another play here. About 3 minutes after the news is kind of ideal for looking for a good shot. Mr. Hoyt, so happy fixed my computer, stopped from overheating. Needed thermal paste replaced on the chips. You're running like a champ now, keeping up the right market without locking up. Oh man, that's great to hear, Mr. Hoyt. I want to almost screenshot that. I've told people before, like if you guys are building your own machines and things, especially now, not saying that the manufacturers can't do it wrong or whatever, but yeah, especially if you're building your own, that can definitely happen. You can get a hot spot on that thing if you just miss a spot on that paste. And that's great. It's an easy, I don't say it's an easy fix because it's not, it's not fun taking that thing apart, getting in there like that for sure, but a relatively easy fix. Okay, we got a 3 wise men here, and we are nerd green, so we might be marching straight up here
Zelensky
after a 3 lock-in here to the long side on a 3 wise men. Not my favorite play. I have to do too much reading, and there's always different configurations, so a little bit harder of a read than other play setups we have. Oh, is that you, Moo Moo? You got another new name? The Moo Mooses. All right. I'll make the note.
Enigma short on the YM2.
Oh, we got a level 20.3 with a ready DD. We're coming up fast. Listening for AudioBox. Didn't hear anything. Oh, there's AudioBox. Okay.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 89.
So that one got sliced. So 3 wise men ended up, yes, being the long side move here. We're moving fast, so I don't think it's going to last. I'll be looking for the short up here into prior high. Gonna replace that to 3 years. Can see the differences in thermals already. Nice. That's always an exciting project for sure.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 89. Upper bands touch YM
Just
on
keep an
the
eye on the
29.
S&P 500, just seeing movement towards the upside, and similarly on the dollar as well.
Double delta E.
Whoa, we are marching up and up and up. Okay, hold up. 1, 2, 3,
So far as of yet, but we'll
4
keep an eye on
at the top.
We'll relay that to you as soon as we
Super fast coming up into R1. Up above, coming in fast, so I don't think it's going to last. I'm waiting for the trap. You get one more rip up into it, into that crab.
Double delta NQ.
I'll be down with it. All right, well, I'm going to FOMO a little bit. I'm going to FOMO half position here.
Citi CEO said just after the report came out for the USCB consumer confidence, so that consumers are resilient but discerning in spending.
And Dr. Seuss right there. Ooh, and coming back up. Like I said, we might have one more push move that might be real fast. What time? 10:08. 2 minutes before coffee time. There's the warning color.
Double delta NQ on the 7. Double delta EM on the 2.
No, I'm closing it. I don't know what's going to happen. It may have another launch in there. We are right before the coffee time. I don't know. This is they're all different colors here. We got red, yellow, yellow, red, yellow, green. So 3 of a kind. I can rewind. This, you never know. This could be a double move. So I'm going to measure for a double move off of that pivot. I'm going to go with the shorter one first. And let me get my F8 tool here. Going to measure into, got to estimate where the middle of this, the meat of this is. How about we just measure it with the prior high? Okay. So my GLR location is up here, 4680s.
Upper bands touch YM on the 29. Enigma
I'm going to Dr. Seuss this off of the 18.2. On NQ. Feel a little bit dangerous here. Give me a little bit more. Oh, and YM ended up coming down. Ooh. All right, and I'm going to close it there on the NQ off of that 18.2. Got in on it late because I didn't see it originally when it came in off of the 7s. Big 18.2 on the 7s, but they are probably going to defend this area. I'm going to come back and mark this big time. So I'm going to make this very
US stocks,
large.
Positive. S&P 500.
They could push it up from here later on or right now. I'm going to make this super wide. Giant 8. This is huge. That's 3,000. We'll see if they come back and defend that 3,000 on the buy side. So unless 3,000 just got blown out through that leg, it's possible. It's this entire area right here. Really, the jump, actually, no, it starts, the main one starts right here. Okay, no, actually, that could have been a stop out zone. My apologies. I'm looking at this here. Stop out zone right there. I'm going to mark it pink. They ran them through. And then, look, let's make a nice bright pink here. Not deep pink. Ooh, magenta. Looks fun. There we go. Okay, so it's right here. So here's where retail stops get hit, and then they just run them all the way through. Destroyed. 3,000 or so. So somebody got short back here. Oh yeah, they shook them out, faked them out. There they are. They probably continued to add to positions, and then they run up, and they're like, and then total blast. Account blowout area right here. Between those two crosses. So if you guys, you know, if you heard me say this even in the most recent boot camp, I'll take an 18 to 20 level, especially after a smooth leg, almost every single time. Almost every single time I'm going to take a reversal on that. Okay, woulda, shoulda, couldas. I wish I would have held on. I wish I would have held my gusto here. Oh, woulda, shoulda, couldas. Okay, so it ended up coming on down, but it was just, it's a tricky spot there. They came up fast. What'd I say, right? Come up fast. Probably not going to last. The last leg was the longest straight leg up. Pretty shore shine. Did I say shore shine? Shore sign. That will likely get that reversal along with it. Titanic Zone, and where do we go? Right to the bottom, as measured. You like the Titanic Zone yet? If you don't, go watch the video on it again. Wait, is that red inside there? That's red. Oh no, I thought that was green. Did y'all hear me earlier call it green? Because the yellow background made it look green to me. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think my green shirt today jinxed me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not. It's just, we're just having fun. No, I know it's not the shirt. Calm down, troll. Calm down, troll. But it is dark in here. Let's turn on some lights. All right, if I'm going to have a green shirt and goof that up, I may as well wear a green hat too. And go along with it to remind myself of what a goofball I was on this play. That's red. It's red, yellow, yellow, which remember I told you, it's the color of the current colors around it. Red, yellow, yellow, red, yellow, red. That is a red. It's a red inside of there.
Post reporter.
But the coloring background, because of the coffee time,
Ultra low cost
made me think it was green. I should have held that sucker. Man, oh man. I
for the main
should have gotten big time paid. There's my 100 tick play right there. How many times do I tell you? All the time. That's my 100 bagger right there. I'm going to move it out a couple more ticks because it's a... I'm counting that as 100. Boom. 100 ticks. I missed my 100 tick trade because I couldn't see the green. Colors matter. Oh my goodness.
The website. They said,
Oy vey, did you get the 106 ticks? Atta boy, Rodney. How many of you guys saw that it was red, not green? Did anybody catch on to that? I messed you up too, didn't I, saying it was green because it's not. My apologies. I jacked that up. Good morning, nomads. We got the nomads in the house. Good morning, Bob. Why am I thinking about Fruit Loops right now? Probably because I was such a Fruit Loop on that. And green shirt day got me thinking green, and I sat there and called that a green when it was a red, thanks to the color background. Oof. That's going to make me strongly consider taking my background coloring off. Generally, I like that, but, you know, I'm just going to make a special note. Like, look a little bit closer there, Vinny. You never... I won't say you never know, but you can know. But wow. Botched that one. You caught a piece of that missile? Atta boy. Well, thank goodness for NQ handing me a game. Oh, you know what else I just missed? All right, I'm over here talking and gabbing away. Look at this perfect Super AO short. That's going to be a huge one off of the 7s. There's another 103 tick move. Right there. All right. I'm goofing that all up. Could have held this one out. I got nervous right in here. I was like, we could launch, and I don't want to have to deal with big move, high a day scenario there. Played overly cautious on that one. Coming back into that zone again. Let's see what they do in here.
Enigma short on the
Another 1,000 in that area. Maybe adjust opacity to see a little clearer. Yeah, no joke. On that background color. See something here. Our TimeRegion's indicator.
Fib.ym on the 2.
I don't know, all the way, it's already 10%.
YM on the 2.
Oh, no, 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 no. This one's it's 0.1. Oh yeah, warning opacity. Okay, so okay, now we can turn it down a lot. 50%. Oh, I put it on the wrong chart. Duh. I mean, we want it on that one too, I guess. This is the one that we jacked it up on. We want to see what it can do. Let's change it here. Oh, I may have gotten away with too many. Is it going to... Is she going to hang up on me? Should have disconnected first. Woulda, shoulda, couldas. You dealing with project managers? Bob, oh yeah. All right, let's see if it'll let me, if I press disconnect. Is it gonna let me unfreeze my chart? No, it's like you've got 14 charts open right now, and you just tried to open up indicators on a low time frame. I don't think so. Oy vey, NinjaTrader, y'all can't put that into a separate thread or something? Like, y'all can't make it asynchronous to go into the properties window? Oi, oi, oi. Alright, let's see if it's gonna let me close. Nope. Alright, task manager it is. Trying to fiddle with your settings midday. Don't do it. Alright, let me get logged back in here. Alright, should be coming back up here. A couple things while that's coming up. I'm going to check my quick CPU, make sure everything is running hot. Balance, power, no overlay. What? Get out of here, bro. Don't be parking me cars. All right, bots are up 1,500. I'm gonna flatten all on those. All right, I beat the bots. Haha.
Lower bands touch
All right,
Y
went ahead and flattened them now. It's 10:25 for the closure, so I beat the bots. Let's go. 15:35 for the bots. 4,324 for me so far. So it's coffee time. I told you guys I want to talk to you about some boot camp ideas and thoughts around it. Okay, let me see if I can change this without borking it. I'm going to try it again. I'm literally going to take the risk here. The markets feel like they're slow. Let's just see. There we go. Okay, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So I'm going to go into time regions before we were so rudely interrupted, and I'm going to change my opacity thanks to that little learning lesson right there. I'm going to change this opacity, warning opacity, from 0.5, so 50%. I'm going to cut that in half, 0.25, and then I'm going to look at that again and see if I can tell the difference. And after restart, it's changed. That still looks a little too... Yeah, I'm going to turn it down even farther. Time regions.
Lower bands touch
Point
YM on the
1.
Lower bands touch on the 89.
There we go. Now it almost looks like super dark brown. All right. There we go. That'll do it. Let me save workspace. What about on my other one? I need to change it over here as well. All right, that darkened it up there, and I'm actually going to set that as default and try to remind myself. I'm going to put that into the next release changes as well, now that I've seen that being a problem. That one cost me some money. Would have crushed a 100-tick trade.
Double delta NQ on the 9.
On that play had I had the proper colorings.
Amazon
and
themselves now. What has already been said in the statement from the X. Amazon says Amazon Hall considered the idea of listing import charges. Nothing has been implemented on any Amazon properties. Just an Amazon spokesman commenting in an email statement, a confirmation of what's already been said.
Okay, so speaking of, got the 2-minute warning colors coming in now. Here, I'm going to switch to the 2s, crossing fingers. The market's getting a little bit warm there. It's starting to speed up a little bit, so hopefully we don't get a
.ym on the 2.
crash there. There we go. Got away with it. And the 25. Okay, so there was a spot from before where it didn't quite do me well there, but yeah, I ended up having another red inside there previously, and on restart that changed up the data order and the time sync. 58.59 on the day.
YM on the 2.
Okay. So we are finished out day 7, session 7 last night on our I think I still have the windows open. Last night, let's see. Titanic Zone. Profiler? Nope. There we go. We ended last night on the Titanic Zone, and well, we did some more on the Dream panel right at the end of day as well, the end of the evening. There's that beautiful Titanic Zone. And there's the multicolors, same color scenarios, and I cannot believe I got the wrong color to region background highlighting. We have since resolved that visual problem. So we started out, we completed out our getting started area. We hit our fundamentals. A lot of fundamentals. Understanding all the individual components. Then we put them all together in 2 sessions. Again, a lot of strategy talk. Two full sessions on strategies. So we are here. In the tips. Now, as I was going through all these, as I was kind of reviewing last night, we've covered a lot of these tips as we have gone through the strategies themselves. So I would hit on things like, what are our 4 stop loss types? 2-try rule. You actually saw me do the 2-try rule a couple of times there today. It was very first trade of the day. Did me really well on the very first trade, right? Got us into our Enigma, break it by a hair, and then retry, targets filled. Recency is key, right? We talked about that. Hold to the opposing signal. We kind of touched on this. We've said it multiple times on that. But anyhow, all of the tips and tricks, kind of putting things together, talking about the trade copier, indicator changes and settings, a lot of kind of basic stuff through this area, screenshots and recordings, windfall rules, stalking your trades. So bring it all together on day 8, session 8.
Double delta EM on the 2.
See, how did you get there in green news text on your chart last night? Green news text on your charts. Let's see. So that is our news indicator. Yeah, so I have that on the higher time frame chart right here. You can put this on any chart. I recommend putting it kind of on the wave chart or a higher time frame chart. So in the indicators,
double delta NQ on the 9.
this is AlgoBox underscore news or underscore news, and you can select if you want USD, JPY. You can kind of filter through this how you want. I mean, generally we want to know about all of them, right? Low impact if you only wanted high impact for some reason. But you asked about the green ones. Green ones mean show the low. So you might want to check your low news event. A low is going to be a green. I've got low turned on, so I do see the low news events as well. I don't have previous news selected, so prior day. I don't have a show news highlight, but I do have show news vertical text.
Double delta EM on the 6.
My warning threshold, I have 13 minutes ahead of time, so 13 is in minutes. And the position for where it draws it on the chart, I've got mine set to top left. So these are all adjustable in your settings, but if you're asking me how I did mine, these are my settings here for my news. If you want to go through my settings there, enable Algo Voice so it will actually read off the text of the news to me ahead of time. New range is 39. Thank you so much. I had it on 29. Should be 39. Thank you very much. All right, let me save that workspace.
On the 2.
All right, workspace saved. All right, NQ just came down and touched the open line and grabbed a green ready DD out of a butterfly, and it said, "See ya." $338 ticks off the upside touch off of the open line. They were like, "Yo, you think we're going negative on the day?" Nope, don't think so. Got you looking.
Enigma short
And NQ's cooking. Okay, so on to the topic at hand. So we're on, today would be day 8, and we're hitting tips and tricks, and so obviously I was thinking on going forward on talking about full auto, and with our full auto stuff, I was like, how am I going to cram full auto in a 3-day scenario? And even with that, like, you can't really do a thorough. And then I realized, so here's my thing. I'm just going to talk out loud, thinking out loud here, and tell you guys my thoughts last night. So full auto needs time and attention. And the whole thing about full auto is needing to run a lot of backtest optimization, walk forward testings, and it takes a whole different kind of mental animal and gymnastics and a lot of time. You need a lot of time. So let's talk about when I thought about the purpose of the bootcamp. The purpose of the bootcamp is to shorten the time window from get-go to end-go of compressing the 40-day training. Now, and then I thought later that, am I trying to compress the time on full auto? And I realized we're not. So hear me out. I don't say there's not a way to compress and speed up full auto, but I think full auto needs its own full attention. And trying to cram it into a boot camp, I don't want to say maybe a mistake, but it is not going to do it the justice that it would deserve on its own. We have an entire full auto section. If you go to our website, top left, full auto, and we have the links to that inside of Discord on the left-hand side under tools and training. We have a full section on full auto. And I generally don't want people just coming in and turning on full auto on day one without fundamental understandings of knowing how everything works to begin with, having worked with the system for a while, having been in the markets for a while, to know that nuance. And you can probably see where I'm kind of going with that, is to go
fib.ym on the 2.
Do I, or can I? I'll say can I, because I realized I actually kind of like this idea as well. I've just finished everything I needed to teach you about the system and all the inner workings in 7 days. I completed out, because as I started going through the tips, I'm like, wow, some of these I've already covered. Like, let me start going down the list of ones that I've already covered. So 4 types of stop losses, yep. 2 trifle, yep. Recency is key, yep. Hold the opposing signal, yep. Small account challenge, no. Practice 10x sizing? No. Checklist and reminders? Kind of. Stalking trades? Yep, but, you know, not necessarily a thorough job. Windfall rules? I kind of mentioned it briefly, but we'll tag into it. Tools of the trade? Yep. At the beginning, screenshots and recordings? Yep. Trade copier? Talked about it. Performance? I think I even showed how to open one of these, but I'll put a question mark on it. NinjaTrader 8, setting up? Yep. Hotkeys? Yep. Sound? Yep. I don't know the difference between performance and trade performance. Actually, no, I covered performance multiple times, so take that off here. Hold on, I'm gonna roll all the way back. Yes, we did performance. That's like PC performance. I should rename that to PC performance. Eddie, will you make a note on this, and let's change this to PC hardware performance, not to be confused with trade performance, which is right here. So showing how to get to the charts. I think I showed how to do this, but I'll go into super details on it. Indicators, how to get into the indicators. Yeah, come on. We've been over that. I've gone through every single setting on these. Market replay, maybe haven't really gone into detail on that quite yet. Commissions, I really shouldn't necessarily talk about that anyhow, because that's really between you and your broker or your trader funding program, but we can generally talk on those. Setting a daily loss limit, we didn't talk about that. Multiple PCs, didn't really talk about that. Discord, we have thoroughly talked about that actually at the very beginning. So ones I did not cover, fairly simple. AlgoBox Academy, I've talked about the 40 questions around that. Discounts, I've even mentioned that, you know, reply to the emails and write the word deal in it if you want to get a deal. So I realized, like, okay, so tonight, if I go to 8, and again, there are some things that we need to cover, but it would be like it's doing 8 for the purposes of doing 8 when I could do a 7-day boot camp. And how long is 7 days? 7 days is 1 week. So what if it was a 1 week boot camp instead of 10 days? Why did I go with 10 days to begin with? Well, quite frankly, it was one of our competitors that had done a 20-day boot camp. Of course, I can't figure out, like, with the turd software that I've seen out there that takes 20 days. I think they're just sitting them into rooms, and I don't even know what. I have no idea what they're doing. I'm probably just sitting in live environments, whatever. We do that every single day. We come in here. I do Mentorship Mondays with you guys. We do FullAuto Fridays. I come in here and I teach and train while we're in live stream environments. So it's like, you want to sit here for 20 days with me, you know, you absolutely can. But from a bootcamp perspective, if I'm compressing all the knowledge that's necessary, I think I successfully did that in actually 7 days. And then I thought about, well, the way that we have our 14-day free trial. So imagine you roll yourself back. Maybe your first day here with AlgoBox. And you pictured you got that 14 days, you got full 14 days to use the system. But you start realizing, if you read, you know, and watched the first videos there, where it's like, oh man, this thing's going to take me 120 days to learn the whole thing. Like, I don't know if I got that kind of time. And then I'm like looking at the price point. I'm like, I don't know if I got the kind of money. Well, we've solved the money thing for now. It's very inexpensive now to get started with this. But you're looking at that 14 days, and then what if you saw that there was I can learn everything in a 7-day boot camp, which is half of 14, which would mean that if I can learn everything in my first week, then and that means that in week 2, I can now come in and hang out with you and start executing in sim, practicing. I get to practice with it for an entire week because I've already trained up in week 1. Week 2 is executing on that. And I realized, I don't know, for me, I was like, if it was me, I'd be like, I would love that. If you're telling me that I can learn everything in a week and then I can spend another week using the system after I've already had it for week 1, learned everything I needed to learn because I watched all the videos in a week. And of course, I could have played with it in week 1 as well. But now week 2 becomes more
Enigma short on
productive.
the 3.
Versus if I just say, well, it's a 10-day just to do a 10-day, because again, like talking about, you know, seeing, you know, and I didn't know how long it was going to take me to complete all the documentation. I mean, I set out my goal of how to cover all this stuff, and I tried to overestimate, and I did. And yeah, I mean, I completed it out in 7 days, which is kind of great. Plus some tips. I mean, I think there should be like, you know, maybe a prerequisite video or maybe a post or like a bonus video of like, hey, by the way, bonus tips and tricks video, but make it a 7-day boot camp instead of a 10. And you complete the whole thing in 1 week. And then you've got another week to spend if you're doing a 2-week free trial. At the same time, like, you know, I see the people that are, you know, coming to our thing. Like, if you don't want to spend more time just because, oh, well, we're making it 10 days and, you know, our competitors are running theirs for 20 days. I'm like, oh, I can do it in half that time. All right, I'll do 10. But I just realized I was able to compress the whole thing. I can get the whole thing done in 7. Which just, again, proves to me that, I mean, we're better in every single way that you could possibly imagine for the crap that's out there. I don't know how they could possibly, like, the turd software that I've seen being talked about for 20 days at a time is insane. Boot camps times 2 hours, about 20 hours, 7 hours of videos a day over 3 days, 3-day boot camp. Yeah, that's true. If you were to watch 2 boot camps a day, like what Eddie's saying, somebody could actually finish the whole thing in around 3 days. And if they went through, you know, I think one of them was a little bit shorter. One of them's like an hour and 20 minutes, right? One of those days was in the hour 20, I think, finishing out the fundamentals perhaps. Was slightly shorter. But yeah, you could complete out everything in a shorter window. Or if somebody's been following along and, you know, stalking us in the shadows for a long time over a period of, you know, who knows how long, but they have, you know, oh yeah, I've learned the headshot, I've watched your strategies, I've been in their documentation, I was deciding on pulling the trigger or whatever, and like I wanted to go through the full training, and now they're like, oh, I can do it, and so I get all of it all at once, and it's designed to be 7 sessions longer, but I could finish them as fast as I could watch them. If I want to binge watch them over the weekend, technically, how many hours was it? About 20 hours. You could binge watch it through a weekend. A 1-day boot camp when it's on 3x speed. There you go. We could have a fun contest on who can complete the boot camp the fastest and still retain. I don't know how you test that, but retain could be insane. George said there's the panel and then there's full auto. Exactly. See, George, and so I started going down that path, and I'm like, do you know how long it would actually take me to go through thoroughly to do a good enough job? Because you know what it is, like in a boot camp, yes, I thoroughly covered everything in the boot camp for all fundamentals, all strategies, how to enter, how to exit, putting it together on nerd, arrow, 2-step rule, order of operations, knowing the filter direction, taking the trades, piercers, all of that. And then I'm going, okay, so how do I do a good job on full auto? He's like, well, I got 3 days to do it. But why do I have 3 days to begin with? It's because I had this whole initial instinct of like, okay, well, I got to do everything in 10 days. Well, do I have to do that? I locked myself into that because that's what I thought. I've got to, if I, you know, a wise man is capable of realizing, like, you might have been wrong, or he overestimated or underestimated. I feel like that's probably what I did there.
Poland expects
and
2025 GDP.
I think I'm going to wrap it up
3.7%
tonight, I think.
government.
Now, I will talk about in the tips and tricks, like how to and where to go for full auto training. But if you're on the website, it's literally right up here, top left, full auto. If you're a full auto person, like, you need to spend some time in full auto. If you're brand new to full auto especially, I don't think it should be something that you rush, because there's literally just even learning the tools themselves. This is beyond charting. This is going, have you ever even been in the strategy analyzer before? There's a lot of people who are coming brand new to a full auto, and this is a dangerous place. Like, you're trying to, you know, handle something that is very complex, especially when you don't know the tools. Just to get familiar with the tools to start with is a task.
2025 fiscal gap at 6.3%.
But yeah, we go into the archives section, and how many videos? It's only 21 videos, but it really is a, I think you need to spend some time in here, right? This one's, that's 2 hours by itself. Learning the two-finger salute is broken into 3 parts in and of itself. Like, how do I condense something that took 3 sessions of 41 minutes each, part 1, part 2, and, well, no, I'm sorry, two-finger was 2. Lunchbot was 3. Just for Lunchbot, 2 for two-finger salute.
Similar to those in other emerging economies.
You know, Enigma. Anyway, and we went over the Dream Panel Pack, and I do it in the live streams. We have Full Auto Fridays. I don't think that this is necessary to put into the bootcamp, because it's a separate thing. It could have its own bootcamp, like Full Auto Bootcamp, right? And that whole thing, spend a full 7, maybe even full 10 days on just full auto type of scenario, and do it a better justice by having a lot of details.
Poland anticipates public debt at 57.8% of gross domestic product.
The more I think about it, the more I talk myself into, condensing our bootcamp from 10 days to 7. 7-day bootcamp, 1 week bootcamp. There's a nice ring to it. We got a 2-week free trial, 1 week bootcamp. Everything you need to know in 7 days. Because even 10 days, I don't know, some people are still like, they're used to TikTok and they're like, is it done yet? Is it done? You guys are watching these last 7 and you're all like, is it done? Is he done yet? Is he done? I'm like, please be done. PC performance title updated. Thank you, Eddie. Steady Eddie, the man with the plan. Thank you, sir. So now I gotta brainstorm around. Okay, so how many places did I put 10-day bootcamp that I gotta go back and be like, it's 7. If only YouTube lets you edit on their platform. So we'd have to do some changes to, if we wanted to have like our full-on official. I was originally planning on doing it multiple times anyway, so maybe we do a 7-day boot camp and we do it all over again, and the second time I do it even better. There's that option. So the tips section tonight will be covering, it's not really even just tips, it's techniques. I should call it tips and techniques. Eddie, while you're in there editing those, will you change the tips section to tips and techniques? I like the ring to that. Tips and techniques. So let's change the title on that, and we'll talk about and introduce our AlgoBoxGPT. So there is a, if you have been around AI for a while, you've heard them talking about agents and MyGPTs. Well, this is a version of MyGPT that was created specifically for AlgoBox information, knows how to analyze charts, etc. So check that out. Help me break down this DCM setup is a great example of a question. Help me break this down. So if you saw a screenshot in the room, be like, help me break this down. Hopefully they got it right. But it will literally go through the chart itself. It's pretty cool. Ask it a question. I still think that our documentation is so good, I would probably still just come up here to ask search and search for something that we were looking for. And with the visuals that we have, we really used visuals to our advantage. GPT is going to be more text-based and a lot of reading, which is fine, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying?
Double delta eam on the 2.
Matthews, bootcamp is okay, but you can never stop learning. That's true. I'm here a few years now, still learning. Vinny brings always something new and something better. Thank you, Master Vinny. Appreciate that, Matthias. And that is the thing, too, is that it is a continuous level of education. You get to come out here and watch it. There's nothing like seeing it done in real time market conditions. And as markets are unfolding and the map is unfolding, I play it like a video game. And a good technician on even games, video games, if you're a good technician in a video game, like for me, I love Battlefield 3. So if you're a good technician in the game, a new map isn't necessarily going to completely throw you off. Yeah, when anybody who's on a new map is going to be a little, okay, getting used to the map, but you're going to find those places that you can see advantage of coming into rooms and the way that you clear rooms and areas, or coming around and taking cover and using, squat and prone, running, say, but jumping too. Are any of those people like, I know Missile knows what I'm talking about. Running, hopping, jumping around when somebody's trying to shoot at you, or using your flashlight attachment to blind them while they're trying to shoot at you. I know Missile really loves it when I've got my flashlight attachment and he's coming in semi-close quarters. He's like, I just got killed by your flashlight again. My kids love playing in there as well, and they're always talking about Missile Silo. They're like, that's one of Daddy's members. Let's get him. They're like, Benjamin Taker got me again. He makes me so mad. My son gets pretty riled up. He's pretty funny. He's like, yeah, they're like, missile's going down. And whenever they see your name on Discord when we're hanging around here, they're like, oh, is that Benjamin Taker? We're like, I'm gonna get him tonight. Yeah, maybe a separate boot camp for FullAuto. We could do that. So I think I'll round tonight's out with a
short on the NQ4.
With a kind of I'm trying to think of how I'll name it. But it'll be something with kind of bonus material, putting it all together. Tips, techniques, and essentials. Because I think all of those are very important. Like, you're not just like, oh, here's a tip. No, these tips and techniques. Eddie, I hate to ask you one more edit, but let's put the word essential in the front of it, because if you're like me, if I see something that says tip, I'm like, okay, I might not need that. But I think these items are pretty important to the way that we do things. So essential, let's see how long that would be. Essential tips and techniques. Yeah, I think, because even some of it is
upper bands touch YM on the 39.
Daily loss limits, commission market replay, that's an essential. Trade copier, knowing that trade copier exists and how to use that. Windfall rules, essential. Stalking trades, essential. Checklists and reminders, essential. Practice 10x size is debatable. 4 types of stop losses, absolutely essential. 2-try rule, I mean, you don't have to do 2-try. But yeah, essential tips and techniques. Hopefully that doesn't take up too much space on that area. Let's see visually what that looks like. Updated. Let me refresh here and take a peek. Thank you, sir. Essential tips and techniques. Yeah, that'll work. The longest one of the group. So getting started, fundamentals, strategies, essential tips and techniques. That'll work. A nice little header record over the last sections.
US Treasury to auction $85 billion in 4-week bills.
Beautimus. So how about that? Everything you needed to know. Every detail about AlgoBox, including the Dream Panel, because we went into the Dream Panel a lot, and I still think this is the, I mean, this is the holy grail for me. I love it. And Dr. Seuss. I will probably cover... Is there... You know what, Eddie, remind me. I don't know that we have a separate section for Dr. Seuss. Let's put in a placeholder for Dr. Seuss entries, or Dr. Seuss entry technique. That will change. That'll change your P&L. Take a couple $100 trade into a multi-$1,000 trade.
Meta introducing Meta AI app.
We do have a section for Dr. Seuss on docs currently. Let me take a peek here.
Fib.ym on the 2.
It's Meta.
Is it in tips and tricks? Let's see.
Meta
I'm going to search for it. Seuss.
Double delta eam on the 2.
I don't see it. Oh, do not. Sorry. I misread. My apologies. Yeah, let's get a Dr. Seuss. I call it a technique. Yeah, let's put it under essential tips and techniques, and we'll do a fill out. And I mean, we've done that in a lot of videos, but we don't have a specific video on it. We have the advanced video of half on, half off ad.
Including full duplex demo.
But I'll go over it tonight, but the section will kind of be blank for now. That's fine. But let's put in a placeholder here before tonight's video on Dr. Seuss. And let's call it Dr. Seuss entry technique. Hopefully it's not too long. It's pretty long. Yeah, Dr. Seuss entry technique. I'll post you guys a link to, if you have not gotten a link to the AlgoBox GPT, I'll post it there in the chat. Just say GPR. AlgoBox GPT, bro.
Upper bands touch NQ on the.
All right, put the AlgoBox GPT link there in the description, so you can actually have ChatGPT teach you. Like, so teach me everything there is to know about AlgoBox in 1 hour or less. I don't know. See what it can do. It's crazy what it can do. I think our kids in the future will probably be taught by AI. You can learn anything that way, and it's like having a intelligent, patient tutor, which is hard to find.
Upper bands touch Y.
DCDM playing out behind you. YM MACV. I do see that. So remember when I said earlier about Charlie Munger saying that things that work out on the lower time frame work out far less reliably on the higher time frame? This is one of them. I would be very surprised if this ends up going all the way to target. It might, but I have seen oftentimes, I do not rely on a double cross, double move on higher time frames like this. How long before we tell ChatGPT to trade for us? I mentioned that in one of our things that I'm looking into agency of the AI capabilities being able to take over keyboard and mouse, and you can see the charts and you learned our strategies, and it was taking everything into account. Well, how well could it do? I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Janelle, I think I missed your question. I think Janelle, you had kind of revealed you are new to trading and new to AlgoBox when you were first coming in. I'm definitely curious to hear your feedback around what we've done so far in our boot camp. If you've been able to keep up with it, are you catching up? Kind of where are you at in the boot camp area there? And would love to get your feedback if you have some time or would be willing. Let me know either way.
It's further into this here. Putin is insisting that Russia must take control of 4 regions.
It could be pretty awesome, huh?
He doesn't fully occupy as part of any agreement to end his war, according to 3 people in Moscow familiar with the matter. The demand deals a blow to Trump's efforts to reach a ceasefire and a permanent end to the war, amid mounting frustration in the White House at a lack of progress in negotiations. So also just add some detail from Witkoff's meeting with Putin. Witkov sought to persuade Putin and that Russia should agree to a ceasefire that halts fighting along the current front lines during lengthy discussions at the Kremlin on Friday, according to 2 people. Instead, Putin maintained his maximalist position on territory, is what they said, according to those sources.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. Have you been able to keep up with the boot camp? Well, we're on day 7. Where are you at on the boot camp stuff? I know they're super long, but I'm not sure what your schedule is like. Have you been able to do the boot camp, and has it been helpful to you as a brand new trader, or is it still a little bit there's too much, going too high? AlgoBox specific. All right, great to hear it. Yeah, it is designed to kind of get you up to speed rather quickly. We did add a beginners section that I did not cover at the very beginning. It's its own course of the real essential basics of trading. Let me show you that real quick.
fib.ym.
So at the very top, there is a new section here called AlgoBox Beginners Course. It's not even really, it should be like Day Traders Beginners Course, but yeah, we put our name on it. But the Beginners Course is literally like, what exactly is trading? What is it? The absolute basics curriculum, and the history of money and trading. What is modern day trading? What can be traded? Types of traders. Long versus short. What are futures contracts? Futures contracts, micros versus minis. Examples, etc. The difference between futures and stocks in there, kind of going compare and contrast. And you caught onto that one, you read through it, it helped a lot. Okay, awesome. And I'll probably put together a video separately around just the beginner's course stuff of like, okay, let's talk about exactly what trading is, internals. Got some great examples. I know we talked about our algo bars, but if it's like, I usually put them in context of normal time-based candle bars, assuming that people know what they are, but then I'm realizing like, yes, we are reaching a point where we've gotten so large that there are people coming here who are absolutely brand new to the markets, have never even seen a candle, don't know what a candlestick is, what's the whole open, high, low, close to form a candle. And like, there is a, there's a spot there to help folks out getting the absolute basics, and then running through the beginner's course that is here, but in a visual way, with examples showing them and talking through it. Because I know it's a lot to read. If you're like me, TLDR, too long, didn't read. But if you read through it, awesome. But there is something powerful about having some video to go along with it. And we don't have a video particularly around the beginner's course, but all the information is technically there, but not presented in the most ideal and fun ways to acquire the information. But it is there, so we'll do a separate beginner's course around that for the folks who are just absolutely brand new to it. The AlgoBoxGPT should also help you out a lot. You can ask it general questions about just about anything, or literally ask it to teach you something. Like, it's crazy. It'll teach you. It's crazy. Let me put this over here to the left. I'll have that ready to go for the evening. Awesome, Eddie. He's adding even more to it, even as we speak right now. Amazing. Reboot's been amazing, super helpful. Confluence, recency is key. Titanic Zone. Utimus. Reminded you a lot of things that you needed to hear again. I was hoping that would occur. I was always worried about, our members who've been here a long time, like, oh, Vinny's just repeating the same thing he always says every day, 15 times a day. But I thought, there's going to be some gems in there that we might have kind of forgotten about or overlooked or take for granted, and I was hoping there would be a little bit of that in there. That's good. So let's look at our stats here on the day. Today's the 29th. Did I really make no money on the long side today? Did I literally lose money on the long side? Dude, I am such a bear player. I should just own it and just be like, I'm only pressing the sell button. I am a perma bear. I make money on the short side. It does come out faster, and I think I just lean towards it because it's like in gaming, you just gravitate towards the thing that works the best. And it's the gamer in me just going, all right, just just do it. But yeah, look at my long side. 7 clicks, minus $700 on longs. All money on short side. Um, 61%.
CBO
Profit factor 1.34.
FTSE Bitcoin index features.
Generally, that number has been higher lately. That drawdown pretty high. I'm gonna attribute that to the bots. I did see the bots going back and forth there this morning, probably through that wild child area. I did let it play through the news. And yeah, there we go. Let's see, did I miss any other questions there? ChatGPT did a good job explaining what is included with FullAuto. I hope it got that right. Hey Tazer, would you mind, could you send me the question that you asked it? That's more of a sales question. I don't think it's going to get that right. So I need to make sure that we've programmed correctly. But yeah, if you don't mind, if you'll grab the prompt that you used and let me put it into the AlgoBoxGPT and let me see what it's putting out, making sure it's covering everything. Remember, it can hallucinate and it can tell you some of the wrong things, so be careful of that. Gives you, let's see, I'm behind the boot camp, but definitely enjoying it. Posted a screenshot Sunday about the 2-finger salute. Great trade. Totally forgot about all the new plays. Great series. Yeah, 2-finger salute. We don't talk about it too much because even when I used to run 2-finger salute, once I automated 2-finger salute, I used to run it on full auto like I run the Enigma now. But the Enigma, in my opinion, is just better. And I don't know for a fact of that. I probably need to run them side by side, day over day. You just get to a point where it's like you can only do so much. You have a limited set of resources and time, and you have to decide where you're going to put those, and then weigh that out with the risk of managing multiples and more screens and more stuff. And then if you're going to have somebody else run it, then hiring more people and worrying about those people and their situations. You know what I'm saying? But just because I say that I think it's better, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. It could absolutely be proven otherwise. They asked, what is FullAuto? And asked for example code. Can you just send me the exact prompt? Don't project manage me, bro. Simply asked, what is FullAuto? And asked for example code. No, what exactly did you ask it? Project manager's bad words today. I rarely hear project manager and good things in the same sentence. Yeah, see, and it got Dr. Seuss wrong, right? but you know what's funny is it didn't say. This is where I worry about ChatGPT. Like, that's a perfect example where it's like it doesn't get everything right, and it doesn't tell you that it doesn't know. So you're like, what ask it about Dr. Seuss. The time to sit on hands because the market gets crazy at that time. No, it's not, but that is that's a great hallucination. That's a great guess. You know, let me pour you a coffee on that one there, AlgoBoxGPT, but that's not right, you know. No, it's not sit on hands. Yeah, and that's what I am worried about. It's not perfect yet, and it's still in its infancy. It does a pretty good job of the stuff that it's good at, and then but the things, if you go beyond it, ask a question like, Home Dude's over here like, what is full auto? But he's not asking the part about give me example code. Like, first of all, it doesn't have our code, and it's not going to have example code. But we have ourselves either a troll or a project manager in here. I'm not sure. Tazer Vr, I'm pretty sure you're asking some trolling questions in our Discord chat already, so I've already got my eye on you. And I just asked you for something, you didn't give it. So you're either a moron or you're just here to piss me off. Either one. I've got the finger over the ban button. I'm just like that. You don't like it, don't care. If you don't respect me enough to answer my questions, why do I need to respect you? It's ridiculous. Answer the question that I asked. You asked me for something, you'd expect me to give you what you asked for. If I asked you for a burrito and you handed me a hot dog just because you gave me something to eat, doesn't mean you gave me what I asked for.
Enigma short on the NQ4. Double delta NQ on the 9.
Code is exact, and our words are just syntax. Our words are syntax, and our words can be code as well. If, then, else. Pretty simple. You can write a good if, then, else statement, but you can't write it with a lossy join. Otherwise, you get bad data, bad input, bad answers.
Pip.ym on the 39.
So he's claiming, though he's still not answering the rest of the question. Hey, find this guy in our Discord and ban him, please. Tazer Vr. If he's in our Discord channel chat, let's ban this guy. I'm not interested. The AlgoBox Full Auto refers to a completely automated trading system that executes trades without manual input based on pre-coded logic, rule sets, and signal filters derived from AlgoBox strategies like DCDM, Delta King, Vega. Vega? What is a Vega? Somebody tell me what's a Vega. What? How did it get a Vega? What is a Vega? It just hallucinated that. What? What is a Vega? Power dot, yes. However, AlgoBox itself is not a full auto bot by default. It is a manual discretionary trading system that has automation-assisted tools to help a human trader take rapid, high-probability decisions. Now, that sounds like it's not full auto, but it does. It has the option to it. Maybe not necessarily by default, but you can absolutely turn on full auto. It has full strategies. That's what I was wondering. Like, it could get this wrong because there's a lot of nuance around what we've done here. We've done so much inside of our systems that it's almost hard to condense what I've created over the last, now it's 18 years in code. Here's how full auto can show up in the AlgoBox world. Full auto via custom scripts or bots. Some advanced users may code NinjaTrader ATM strategies or external bots via NinjaScript or third-party ATMs. Setups like auto DCM triggers, power dot, MACV entries, Delta King dots inside PRZs with full master. These scripts aim to replicate high confluence entry rules without trader intervention. But caution, full auto removes human discretion. Oh, I like that. I like how it put that. But caution, full auto removes human discretion. AlgoBox was designed for edge-based human execution where you confirm context like reversal versus continuation, news timing, flow master acceleration via speed, tape absorption. I like that. I like those. Assisted auto, semi-auto execution. This is the intended use case. AlgoBox automates setup detection, large dot and timing line. It's interesting it calls it a large dot, but cool. Large dot and timing, I'll give it some credit there. Order placement via hotkeys or ATM brackets. Visual audio alerts to prep your reaction. But you control when to enter, which trades to filter, risk size, bracket selection. That's all true. This is the sweet spot for 99% of traders using AlgoBox, especially on the 120-day training path. Very nice. 3 common misconceptions. Is AlgoBox full auto? No. Out of the box, AlgoBox is not a bot. Yeah. Kind of. It is. It is and it isn't. It can be either one equally. I just recommend that people learn how to do it manually first. So if I were to, maybe I make a video around common misconception, what does ChatGPT think? So no, out of the box is not a bot, but it is. You can literally just press a button and it's now a bot. Visual effects to act like a funded trader, but you must click the button for or assign hotkeys. Says you must. You don't have to. I mean, to turn it on, I guess you do have to click a button to turn it on. Or you go into the strategies panel and enable them. So technically, yes. Summary table. Full auto. Who controls the entry? Bot, no human, risk high, edge integrity often degraded. Yeah, there are times of day like the cadence is real. Cadence. Assisted auto, AlgoBox, trader, risk controlled, maintained. I like that. Manual, no tools, trader, higher mental load, inconsistent.
Upper bands touch YMY89.
It's crazy that it came up with all that with just what is full auto for AlgoBox. Crazy. Would you like a sample flow for what auto logic might be? Yes, please. There's a sample full auto logic flow for a power dot trade with AlgoBox style confluences written as if you'd automate it in NinjaTrader using NinjaScript or an external bot layer. This focuses on a scalp to run style system with risk logic and filtering to adjust, to avoid junk trades. Full auto flow, power dot plus MACV plus timing line confluence, set up trigger conditions. If power dot prints, large dot, add timing line, and timing line is within 3 to 6 ticks of dot, add MACV, agrees, same direction bias, the and, binary, and trade is not within 10 minutes of a net red news event. Now that's a very interesting. It picked up on that. And now that we have a news indicator, it's actually codable as well. Wow. That's pretty good. And no conflicting large dot in opposite direction within the last 10 bars. Yeah, okay. To initiate. If you were in a position sort of like that one this morning where it went, we had a green Enigma and then followed by a red where you go side to side. So this one's optional, but I like that it's thinking about it. Then initiate entry logic. Entry logic, direction, long or short, based on dot direction. I don't know if I do that on dot direction. I would need, I don't see any mention of the nerd or MACV ultimate. But I don't really talk too much about that, I guess, in the documentation. Or the filtering, so that would be something to talk through. Okay, management rules, I like that. Safety filters. Block entries if VIX is greater than 30, high volatility. I mean, that's a common logic, but our system does really well in high VIX. Higher the VIX, more ticks. Entries near session open, first 10 minutes, or lunch lull. See, that's not all true either. These are like general. This is not from us. I'd never say that anywhere. So this is some of this. It's hallucinating from external logic. We actually have a lunch bot that takes advantage of the lunchtime lull. So that's interesting because I literally have a lunch bot that actually takes advantage of that. Max 3 trades per hour. That's interesting. I don't have that particularly either. I have a 5 or 6 within 60 to 90 minutes. So it kind of. Auto disable after 2 consecutive losses. Require a small reset. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that either. That's common external stuff that some traders will put together. For me, I would rather wait until 2 consecutive losers and then turn the system on. It's like you turn it off at the absolute worst time ever. It depends. Like this is very generic. I wouldn't put this into our stuff. Most traders fail without full auto. Even well-coded bots often fail. They lack discretion, can't adapt. Better path by journaling. 50 power dot trades manually with dot plus MACV plus king line. F8 runner targets. Interesting. Like it caught on to use F8 for double move targeting, but it's applying it to dot and not double cross. So some stuff gets crossed over. Record the outcome screenshots. Consider building semi-auto assistance like auto entry after confirmation, but with manual and email disable. Yeah, so it's like essentially think about programming the dream panel. Like a flow diagram or code outline. Sure. Sounds fun. Getting that image generation. Holy shnikes. Insane what these things can do.
Upper bands touch YM on the 89.
Start. Power dot prints. Timing line within 3 to 6 ticks. MACV agrees. So if it's green and we're within timing, then enter. Direction loan. Loan or short? Guys, are we going loan or short? You gonna get a loan or it's it knows that I'm terrible at longs, so it calls them loans, because that's like me loaning the market my money because I lose on the long side because I can't trade. It's like, Vinny,
on the 2.
I have seen your performance, sir, and your longs are like loaning your money. I don't even know why you trade to the long side. You may as well call it loan trades because you suck on the long side, bro. You only make money on short side. You perma bear. Your bullhorns are dull because you suck at long trades. We call them loan trades. Hee hee, ha ha. You have dad jokes. We have AI jokes. Me love you long time. Ha ha. Me very funny. You not very good trader.
On the 89.
Entry loan or short. Yeah. Scalp hit. No. That's fun. Code it in Ninja script, please. Have we gotten that far yet?
US Secretary Burgum says US is considering taking equity stake in mineral companies.
Trade nothing with the loan. Nothing to the loan side. Hey Tazer, thank you for I see your conversations. Sorry, it sounds like I got you wrong. Let me please accept my apology. Thank you for typing out the details there and checking that out. I was a little concerned with your profile image. I have had my share of the trolling scenarios, so I apologize for grouping you in, and it looks like I got you wrong. So please accept my apology. Thank you so much for giving the details on your questions. Let's see. Power.autostrategy.cs.
Lower bands touch NQ on the 89.
Let's see. On each tick. Oh my. Okay, so performance hit supreme. Anybody who's done any NinjaScript knows you do on each tick. You better be holding your pants on real tight. That's probably going to crash. But let's see. Entries per direction. 1. Okay, so it's not going to allow multiples. I like to do multiples personally, so I usually set this to like, okay, max entries per direction. So depending on how you are adding to a position, or if you are, you got to basically manage your margin position. So you want to set this entries per direction to the maximum amount of contracts that you think that you could handle, up to 50, because you have a hard cap at 50. So entries per direction, no, this is only going to allow 1. Entry handling, all entries, on session close, true. So it's going to close out end of day. That's fine. On bar update. This is the primary continuous roll. It's like basically running a continuous loop on every bar update. This is check logic, very common for checking to make sure that you have enough bars on the chart. I generally set this to 100. Like, I do not want this to do anything unless there's 100 bars on the chart, which is one of those things where sometimes you need to add 3 days of data to your chart. Let's see. There, bias MACV, and so we're setting up some variables. Did it create one called InTrade? Okay, InTrade. So it checks to see if we're in a trade first. Okay. If position, market position. So if it's already in a long, even after bar since entries. So we have a loop or bars since entry. Okay, so it's counting. That's how it's keeping track of how many bars has gone by. MACV. How's it pulling MACV info? Don't know how it's calling that. I think it's hallucinating the... Yeah, it's hallucinating the MACV and the power dot. Okay, so it doesn't know how to read those. It would need to be past those. Okay. And power dot is not our... Yeah, so you got to be careful on some. This is why I was saying, like, be careful of. It's like, how come it didn't work? Well, this wouldn't work. Like, this, first of all, our MACV entry system is not called MACV, and power dots. We call them power dots, but internally, the code is Fabella dot logic. and the parameters that you would need to pass it are not just sitting at a bar. But we could provide external logic for basically, yeah, we could expose internals to do this so that you could do that. That's an interesting idea. I'm pondering ideas where we could open that to where people could
Landnick says US
code some of their own
US built orders were
FullAuto components based on
offset for value of those vehicles against
base
imports.
What do you coders think? Where are my coder guys? Where's Bitcode at? Is he here? Ah, there he is. Bitcode. Mark, what's up, buddy? ChatGPT trying to get sued. You knew where I was going, weren't you, Mark? I was like, let's see how far it can go. That's your grandson's artwork. Oh, okay. Well, I do apologize for grouping you in with the trolls, and that's awesome. Hey, man, if your grandson can do some artwork like that, that's awesome. Tell him to come see me. I need him to make us some AlgoBox memes. I think he says something about a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, you know I love me some grilled cheese sandwich.
Baby, I don't understand this. Grilled cheese Obama sandwich.
Landnick says this will help domestic car makers to move supply chains to the US.
Double delta team on the 2.
That's a lot of fun. For the nerd in me is having way too much fun. I need to stop myself while I'm ahead. Always go lone on Vega. Always go lone on Vega. Oh man, that's a good one. So I don't know what Vega is. It hallucinated Vega, loans, and loan. Yes.
That are finished in the US.
Trade nothing alone.
Domestic content will have no tariffs.
Loan short. I think ChatGPT was actually the one trolling me today. It was like, oh really? Which loan are we talking about? Trade nothing alone. Or you need a loan on your longs because you suck at longs, Vinny. You can't even make 10-day boot camps without making them 7. So tune in for day 8 tonight. Let's go grab some lunch. Thanks for hanging out. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mossbot, Curtis, G, and Eddie B, I am sitting out of the H town. See ya.